What do you want?
Happy birthday to you. Do you have any words of wisdom for everybody? How to live a good life until you're 100 and more?
I haven't figured it out yet.
What is your secret?
I don't have any secrets. I'm just lucky.
How do you feel about everybody being here today?
Well, I think it's overwhelming.
I hope you enjoy the day.
Oh, I certainly do.
First, welcome everybody for coming. This is such a wonderful occasion for a wonderful woman.
You're so right.
Would you like the mic?
Would I like to wait?
The mic?
No.
Okay. I could go on?
I'm through for the moment.
Okay. First, I'd like to have Rabbi Israel and Kenner Kaufman come up here and start our program off.
Bertha, just a few words, because I don't want it to start sounding like a eulogy. Too many times, these things begin to sound like that. But obviously, we're delighted to be with you to celebrate this your birthday with you, this one and many more. I was trying to think of what giving you a formal blessing and stuff, and remembered that there is a story, a midrashic story about, actually a Talmudic story about the rabbi was on his way and on a long journey and settles down, comes upon a tree, and settles down in the shade of the tree and is able to eat the fruit of the tree, drink the water of the tree from a stream right next to the tree. And in the morning when he wakes up refreshed, he says to the tree, "I'd love to give you a blessing, but looking around, you've got this beautiful, you provide shade and it's already beautiful, and you provide food and sustenance to people, and there's a beautiful stream running past you, next to you where you derive your sustenance from, you give other people sustenance. And so, you seem to have everything you need. And so, the only blessing I can think of is may your children and your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren be like you. And in many ways, for all of us here, you are truly an inspiration to us. And please never stop telling those jokes. We're delighted to celebrate with you. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
And by the end of this morning, everyone will know Bertha. So I just want to fill you in a little bit about her. First of all, I've had the privilege of getting to know Bertha over these last 6 years, and let's just say there is no one quite like her. From her colorful outfits to her off-color jokes, half of which I usually don't understand, Bertha is in a league of her own. Before we go on, though, I just wanted to mention a few things that happened in 1914, 100 years ago. For $10 million, the U.S. gained control of the Panama Canal. Cy Young pitches the first perfect game in the modern era of baseball. The third modern Olympic Games open in St. Louis, Missouri as part of the World's Fair. The first underground line of the New York City subway opens. Teddy Roosevelt becomes president. And the most important thing, the first New Year's Eve celebration takes place in Times Square. That's 100 years. Now I received some information from her daughter-in-law.
That might be biased.
Yes, it might be biased. And I'm sure Bertha will correct me if any of these facts are wrong. So I'd like to take 5 minutes and sum up 100 years. Bertha was born 1914, March 20th, in Kansas City, Missouri. She enjoyed a close relationship with her mother and father, 2 brothers and sister. Her father owned a grocery store. This is very important. She skipped 3rd grade due to her high intelligence and academic achievement, and therefore does not understand fractions.
That wasn't quite how it happened, but...
Okay. Would you like to tell us how that happened?
Yes, I will tell you that I played the piano. Who played the piano? And they were putting on a show. And so each day they would have a rehearsal, and I would be called out of my class to play the piano so that I never learned fractions. That was the reason.
Okay.
I'm finished.
At least you have an excuse.
Yeah.
Her favorite activities were roller skating and playing the piano, not at the same time. She joined, hold on. It's been a long morning. Okay. She joined Junior Hadassah and was very active throughout high school, served a term as president, and after high school she became a full member of Hadassah. She was a member of the National Honor Society with a 4.0 GPA. She got her, this is how the information came to me. She got her driver's license at the local drugstore. It cost 25 cents, and she never took a driver's test. She graduated high school at 16 years of age, was offered a full tuition scholarship to the University of Chicago, but was not able to attend because her father could not afford the associated expenses. Upon high school graduation, she accepted a job with a law firm as a stenographer, worked there for 10 years. She spoke to Harry Truman on the phone on more than one occasion because he was a judge at the time and had dealings with the law firm. That's interesting.
He was a county judge.
County judge.
He was not a lawyer.
Oh, okay. County judge. Okay. She met her husband, Arn,
Yes.
in 1936, and he was in the Navy and stationed in Kansas City. Goes on. This is 100 years I got to cover in 5 minutes. Bertha's father thought Arn was Chinese because of his jet black hair and wouldn't let him come around. She got tired of waiting for Arn, as he seemed uninterested in moving the dating relationship to the next level. So she took the civil service exam. During the typing portion, she typed so fast, she ran out of all of the paper provided and had to use the cover page of the exam booklet. Needless to say, she was offered a job the very next week for the National Park Service and moved to Washington, D.C. Arn was transferred to New York, and they kept in touch. She worked for the National Park Service for 2 years, and Arn was then stationed in Norfolk. Then they decided to get married, right? And there are a couple little fun stories here. They didn't get married in D.C. because there was a 3-day waiting period, and Arn couldn't take off any time from work. So she took the train to Baltimore during the week to get the license. They drove to Baltimore on Saturday and were married on February 14th, 1942. Valentine's Day. On Arn's way up from Norfolk to pick up Bertha, and you'll correct me if this is wrong, to get married, a truck driver cut him off, and they both got out of their vehicles and got into a fist fight. Arn got a black eye. Bertha was appalled by this, but Arn said, "You should see the other guy." In Baltimore, they made arrangements to be married by a rabbi. The rabbi wasn't there when they arrived, so the cantor agreed to perform the ceremony. The rabbi arrived late, and the rabbi and the cantor got into an argument about who would perform the ceremony and get paid for their services. Boy, it was a memorable time, wasn't it?
Yes.
They returned to Norfolk that weekend, and she never worked outside the home after they were married. Arn was a naval officer, and during World War II, he was involved in pinpointing radio communications between German espionage agents who were notifying boat crews when the convoys left Hampton Roads for England. He died in 2007 at the age of 93. He received his PhD in nuclear physics.
Whoa.
And on a side note, Arn would often bring home distinguished people for dinner without advance notice, including Jerome Wiesner, President Kennedy appointed him head of the Apollo mission to land a man on the moon. Edward Teller, anybody know who he is?
Yes.
Father of the hydrogen bomb.
Yeah.
And Sir Charles Wright, who accompanied Robert Scott in 1911 to the South Pole. Bertha always made 4-course meals, including 2 desserts, and she baked a pie fresh every day.
Oh, wow.
She has 3 sons. Her son Seth I have to mention this, went to Princeton and Caltech and has a PhD in astrophysics.
God.
Wait, it goes on. Rob went to Harvard for undergrad and graduate school and has a PhD in math and computer science. And David, her 3rd son, received a PhD from UVA.
Wow.
Should be proud of those 3. She has 2 granddaughters, right? And Bertha was always involved in her children's academic education, served as PTA president, remained extremely involved in Hadassah, was president of the local chapter and president of the region, which encompasses 5 states, and enjoys bridge, mahjong, boggle, crossword puzzles, reading, theater, and fine dining, and she is a great cook and baker. Bertha still, I'm sorry to say, has an active driver's license.
You've never had the privilege of driving.
I've never had the privilege of driving with you, no. And has the most friends of anybody we know. So that is a little something about Bertha. Something to be proud of. Now we've got to kind of keep on schedule. Okay, then we're going to let Bertha say something about Bertha. Okay?
Now,
Your mother wanted to say something.
Oh, she always wants to say something.
It's very simplistic because following my daughter, I must say that I'm so lucky that she does things like this because I'm learning from her. But anyway, Bertha, I love you. And since I met you about 4 years ago, you have been on my mind and in my head, and I just say that you are a person that I would just love to emulate. Your humor and your personality is something I think that we all admire. And I know you don't like the Kinnahuras, and I think we all give Kinnahuras, and we'd rather not have the Kinnahuras, but people just can't help it. They say, Kinnahura, she's so wonderful. And I couldn't believe 4 years ago when Shelley told me how old you were. 4 years ago, it was just
was
an
I
abstract.
lying about it then?
But anyway, I want to wish you a very, very happy birthday. And I'm so happy, I should say, that Shelley has had you in her life.
Well, thank you so much. That is so nice. Very nice.
I know Bertha my name is Janet Horwitz, and I know Bertha from way back when I first joined Hadassah, and she was very active in the chapter. And back then, Hadassah was the biggest thing here in Northern Virginia. We had groups growing, and when I became co-president with Tanya of the Moshe Dayan group, we had to split up and form other groups because so many people wanted to join, and that was before everybody went back to work or didn't have time to volunteer. But I just remember all the wonderful things she did, and what a role model she was, how she would bake desserts. She found time to do that, and she found time to play the piano. And then, I think you should have a skit at this to introduce the when your new offices are being installed. So let me write some kind of a skit for you. And she just never ran out of energy. And Bertha, you're just amazing. You really are, and I'm so proud of you. So hope that we can emulate you as we gracefully
Well, I
age.
would hope you would have higher ambitions.
And one correction, when it was said that Bertha never worked after she got married, Bertha never stopped working.
Outside of
Absolutely. She's just a go-getter.
I was so
And
annoyed.
she's
We got married.
Here, wait.
During the war, and jobs were there to be had. And my husband would not let me work. He belonged to that old school where your wife does not work. And I didn't know anybody in Norfolk, and I just sat and twiddled my thumbs. And it bothered me so much, but I never ever worked.
Well, thank you.
You don't know how to twiddle your thumbs.
All right, Bertha, would you like to say something?
Well, all I can say is thank you so very, very, very much for this wonderful display of affection, which I appreciate beyond words. And everybody has been so wonderful. I can't begin to tell you how I have been affected by all of this. and it's just beyond words. There's really nothing I can say except this is all very meaningful to me, and I'm very indebted to all of you for being a part of it and being a part of my life.
Thank you. All right. And speaking of thanks, I would like to thank Pam and the JCC for sponsoring this get-together today, and for my mom, as usual, for always helping out, and especially for Bertha for being here, since I planned this months and months ago. All right. Now let's get on with our entertainment. We have the Tallwood Trio here. We have Alan Wenberg on piano, David Hirsch on drums, and Eric Henderson on bass. And they started, I heard this trio about a year ago at the JCC, and I thought they would be wonderful for today, so I will turn it over to them. Let's welcome the Tallwood Trio. Happy birthday, dear Bertha. Happy birthday to you.
Okay, so this guy is in a major American city and he's just walking down the street. And all of a sudden he sees a flashing light. It says bar, bar. But there's a sign in the window that says all drinks 10 cents. Well, he had to go inside there and see what was going on. So he goes up to the bar and he says, the bartender comes over, he says, I understand all the drinks here are 10 cents. Is that a joke? He said, no, it's not a joke. All the drinks are 10 cents. So he says, well, I'd like a Tanqueray martini, please. Very dry, straight up. He brings him the drink, and it's wonderful. He said, you know, I think I'm going to have another one. He said, wow, how can you do this for 10 cents? And the bartender says, I won the lottery for $125 million a few years ago, and I always wanted to own a bar, so this is my gift to the city. He said, wow, that's great. And he starts drinking the drink, and he looks down at the end of the bar, and there's this group of people sitting down there. He said, well, they're not doing anything. They're not drinking. What's going on there? He said, oh, that's our group of senior citizens. He said, they come in here every day, but right now they're waiting for a happy hour where all the drinks are half price. And they've got coupons.
If Bertha can't come to the cake,
all right,
the
we're
cake
going
to
to cut the
Bertha.
cake, and we're going to sing happy birthday.
How do you use it? You hold it.
That's the century candle.
Yes. Okay, you have one wish, Bertha.
Make it a good one.
a big one.
I will. My husband always told me, never blow out candles on a cake. Always take the candles out of the
Terms. Yes.
Yay!
Okay, everybody sit tight and the cake will be coming around.
Isn't that pretty, Bertha? We love our Bertha. Happy birthday.
That is so gorgeous.
All right, we'll be around.
Happy birthday, Bertha.
Bertha wants to say something.
Speechless. It was unusual. And I just enjoyed it so much, and I'm so grateful to all of you for showing up with